Hello, everybody. It is Renee, and today we're going to be talking about Mother's Day brunch. And so, last week we were talking about the poll, and it was a landslide victory. I think it was like 81% of you love brunch. And so we are going to be talking about Dee's brunch recipes today. So while we're waiting for Dee to hop on to this broadcast, apparently she's waiting for me. So in the meantime, here's what I want you guys to do. If you would like today's recipes, I want you to give me some kind of fun emoji. What's a good Mom's Day emoji? How about a rose? So if you would like today's recipes earlier than the Monday newsletter, because that's going to be after Mother's Day, all you have to do is give me a rose emoji and type the word recipe. So rose emoji and the type word recipe. And then we are going to send those to you early. So I'm making a commitment over here, Dee, to send things out early. So Dee's having a couple of difficulties. So hey Sandy, I love the rose. And okay, you guys, so if you want the recipes early, so earlier than next Monday, go ahead and give me a rose and then type the word recipe, and we'll make sure that you get a link to a ebook for Mother's Day, a Mother's Day ebook. So, okay. Well, my dear Dee, where are you? Sorry, guys. Let me just respond to her by text. Okay. So, for some reason, we just don't have her up here. So, okay. So, hi, ladies. I've got Karen here. And how are you, Karen? She's been talking about doing the fennel the jicama salad from last time. Has anybody done that? Another really cool thing that's really exciting is we just heard from Ideal Corporate that we are going to be featured on the Ideal Corporate website. So that's super exciting stuff. Dee, you made it. Yay. Let's give everybody, okay, everybody, you got to press the heart button and let's give Dee a heart shower. A waterfall shower. All right. So Dee, I'm coming here from sunny California. It's kind of weird weather here. It's warm in the day and not so good in the morning and the evening, but that's okay. I'll take it. We got some sun. How are you doing?
It's sunny. It's trying to be sunny here today.
Yeah.
My lawn is a beautiful shade of green that my son is currently cutting, and it's kind of bothering me through that. But
I can't hear it.
It's all good. Yeah. All good.
All right. So I was just telling everybody that we are going to be featured on the, if you're a coach and you're looking for a place to send all of your clients, the low-carb, low-fat website's no longer running. And so we're being featured along with Sarah Mulera, which is exciting stuff. All right. So Dee, tell us, so we got some great brunch stuff going on. And so, by the way, I made some promises while you weren't around, that if people give us a rose emoji and type in the word recipe, they'll get the recipes early. So now it's all on you.
Sounds great. I'll make that happen.
Okay, I love that. I love a girl who can make it happen. All righty. So Dee, tell us. Dee asked me early in the week. She said, please tell me what kind of menu for brunch and what do you think? And so she took some of my suggestions, added some of her suggestions. We were going to pop up a cocktail, but neither of us got that done today. It was a little crazy day for me. And so maybe Dee can post the peach Bellini sometime before Saturday. What do you think?
Sure, I can do that. Yeah.
Don't we want her to do a live of the peach Bellini, you guys? Hit the heart button again. Okay, I'm putting the pressure on. I'm putting the pressure on today. All right, so let's talk about this gorgeous frittata.
That gorgeous frittata is born out of your suggestion for a smoked salmon frittata, and I smoked that salmon myself. So I've often seen comments that you can't have smoked salmon, and that would be a correct comment if it was sugar laden in the grocery store with glaze, but you can totally smoke your own salmon. And actually, I only smoked it just enough to get the flavor in there and then finished it off in the oven. So really, really simple, and you can do a large quantity at one time and then have it for later. And so salmon is such a versatile fish. It's very sturdy, very user-friendly. And one of those fishes that if you actually overcook a salmon, some prefer it that way because the crispiness of the salmon still has great flavor, almost like you want to say candied flavor, candied salmon. But an excellent choice in a frittata because it holds up very well in the mixing process and then again in the baking process. And so pictured here is a dill and salmon frittata with some arugula. It is really a quite simple one. I did use green onion instead of regular onion. Phase 4, you could use regular onion. Traditional frittatas also have, butter, cream, those cheese. And so this is a phase 1 version, and if you were in maintenance and you were looking to add a serving or two of healthy fats to meet your macros, then you could very simply adjust that to work. But it is very flavorful without. So I would encourage even maintenance clients to try things, without. Sometimes less is more because the flavor is loaded in this frittata. You also don't need any type of dairy product to make your eggs fluffy. For a frittata, you just need some good old-fashioned muscle power. So whip some air into those eggs and get them really nice and fluffy before you add the rest of your ingredients, and that's what makes your eggs really nice. Yeah.
Awesome. So, how do we smoke salmon?
Well, I have a Traeger smoker.
Oh.
So, yeah. I know a lot of there's a lot of different methods. Some people have great big industrial smokers. Some like myself have Green Mountains or Traegers. Some have the little eggs that are smokers. And in my house, I know you guys are all sick to death of hearing it, but I'm in 4 days. My 20-year-old son's going to be home from university. We also have an 18-year-old son. They go through loads of protein, and so and now our weather has turned nice, and so my barbecue and my smoker are actually outside opposite to each other, and they're known to be going at the same time for long periods of time. So
yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, I've never smoked anything, so not surprising, I'm sure.
Well, to tell you the truth, it was a great way to get my husband a little bit interested in cooking. 'Cause,
Oh, okay.
yeah, because excuse me, he loves to do that type of cooking. So I greatly appreciate that when he's raring to go there. So yeah.
All right. So let's take a look at, and I know that you make crepes on a pretty regular basis and
Yeah.
fill them with different things. So
Yeah.
let's talk about getting that crepe consistency because honestly, I've never been able to do it.
Ah, well, so traditional cake, crepe batter, sometimes I think there's a lot of recipes that overthink crepe batter. It's just really simple. It is really, a traditional one does have milk. Water works just fine. These ones pictured do have just a little bit of milk in them. Water, your flour. The great thing about using Ideal protein packets is there's sweetener already in them, so you're not worried about adding a little bit of sugar because your actually base shouldn't be too sweet. They should just be really light and delicate. And a big part about crepes is your batter has to be really thin, really quite thin. And the trick is the heat in your pan. So there's no oil in this batter as well. You can brush your non-stick skillet if you wish with a little bit of your oil. But the trick is that you're going to swirl your batter in the pan really quick to get that nice thin round. That's what you're looking for. So the thinner, the better. And I did a double batch last night. So I used 2 Ideal protein packs, and that made 12 6-inch crepes. So 6-inch crepes was a serving. So really generous. And what I love about crepes is that you can create a meal out of them, or you can create dessert out of them. They are that versatile. So when the crepe pictured actually just has pasteurized egg white and Walden Farm syrup as a sweetener whipped into it to make a glossy, foamy, shiny filling. Really super light. And I used a syrup, and I know we talk about this all the time because I know there's so many out there that just despise using them, and that's okay because I'm going to give you some different options. But a 1/4 cup or 2 tablespoons in 1 egg white does the trick. If you're doing something simple and you're not looking to add a lot to it. Rhubarb compote, chayote compote are amazing wrapped in the crepes or even just drizzled over top of your crepes. You don't have to fill crepes. You can just roll them and drizzle over top. You can also do egg white and veggie scramblers in any phase. So I mean, if you're using egg whites, whole eggs, any choice of protein, all your veggies, a little bit of hot sauce or salsa, wrap them up in those bad boys, and you've got some delicious snacking on hand. And so you can keep it really light and simple, or you can really bulk it up. I also make a cream out of IP packets as well for a thicker cream if you want more of a decadent dessert. And then you simply just split your recipe in half, again, because you're using a pack for your cream and then a pack to make your crepes. So you can make them as simple or as fancy as you like. So for me, for a brunch, they are a multi-purpose food product. Yeah.
Oh, they sound delicious. Are you going to be doing brunch or dinner?
Me?
Yeah.
Me, myself? I'm probably neither.
What?
I'll tell you more of it.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Okay. So there's always tons of feedback about our IP pasta. So I want to address this to all of you. In this pasta is the rotini. And we get a lot of feedback all the time about how disgusting it is and it's so tricky to cook and, it gets big thumbs down. I, however, really, really like this option just for reasons as you see pictured. I never cook ideal protein macaronis or rotinis. I simply soak them at room temperature with room temperature water. An hour and a half for me is about perfect, but you can let it sit longer. That way you can get a nice al dente noodle, and it's not mushy, they don't fall apart. I find the texture better, like more traditional pasta, and then it also holds your sauce or your veggie or your dressing or whatever you put on them. So it makes a great simple pasta salad. It also makes an excellent noodle for just good old plain beef broth or chicken broth. So your bone broths, the noodles are excellent in there too. And so on another note, so when at some point most clients, when they're doing phase 1, they get that proverbial flu or that cold, and it's really tough for them to feel like eating or getting the nutrition in. But something like that, you can get your protein in some good old chicken bone broth, really simple like that. And you don't have to cook. Like you just soak those on until they're al dente, and then they're ready to go. So they're actually a really great product. Mm-hmm.
I love it. Yeah. So I was really interested when you told me the first time that you didn't actually cook the pasta, because the pasta takes forever to cook.
Mm-hmm.
So you're just sitting it on the counter. It takes what, 10 minutes or so?
Oh no, it'll take it about an hour and a half.
What? An hour and a half?
Well, so I don't use hot water because I just use regular temp water and let them do their own thing. I like my noodles to be a tad bit firm. I don't like mushy noodles. And so heat really changes the texture of these noodles. And so, yeah.
Like, I don't know about all of you, but I doubt that I would ever be that far planned out ahead. So I love you. But I'm
okay, I'm going to give you another tip. I'm going to give you another tip on that. Then you can drain them and then put them in the fridge, and then they're just ready to go. So you can do it on an evening when you're home. I know.
Yeah, that's a pre-planning thing for sure. And Sandy says she loves a cold rotini salad. And Jennifer says she loves the crepes. So good to see you on, Jen. I haven't seen you in a while. Come see me. Awesome. So, all right. So if you guys would like these recipes earlier than our regular Monday newsletter, we're going to send them out to you special in a little ebook, but you have to do a little project here. You have to send us a rose emoji and type the word recipe, and we will send them out to you by Friday, right, Dee?
Can do.
Okay, so right here, this sounds delicious to me because I love curry everything. I pretty much could sprinkle curry powder on the world. So
you will like this. And actually, I'm surprised, even at my own taste buds, the more I use curry, the more I really enjoy it too. And the neat thing about curry is that it doesn't really need a whole lot of other spices married to it to be good. So it's really quite a powerful spice in this salad. And I've made oodles and goodles of faux cauliflower salads, potato salads, the traditional way, and they're okay. If you know me, cauliflower is cauliflower. I try really hard to branch out from it because it seems like people get really stuck on it. However, this curry cauliflower faux potato salad, it's really delicious, and it just has really, really simple ingredients. You can garnish with, that egg if you want to, or you can leave it plain. Again, green onion really got put to good use this week in my recipes, as I was just looking for that little bit of onion flavor, in the frittata, in the faux potato salad. I love radish and onion in my faux potato salads. And this one just has some red pepper. So really, really simple. It doesn't have a whole host of veggies in it, and really simple seasoning. And, you know, I have to, now I kind of hacked on the cauliflower, but now I'll give it its kudos, is that when you just blanch, so I just blanched the cauliflower for 5 minutes. That's it. Pour in a colander and just let it come to room temperature. And you kind of let the water drain off. You want it to be dry so it's not mushy and runny when you're using it. It holds up extremely well long term. Another tip I wanted to give you on this is that the subject again of things like Walden Farms always comes up. You don't need to use Walden Farms in your potato salad. You could just simply use your daily oil allowance and, you know, a touch of water to get your dressing down pat. And so this one, I actually didn't have any amazing mayo left in my fridge, but I had a little bit of ranch dressing. And so I just used that in its place, and it's the bomb. So there was, yeah.
I've done that before. The only way I like the Walden Farms Ranch is if it's mixed with a bunch of other stuff. But, you know, one of the things that I was thinking would be a really great show is a show all about making mayo and dressings and aioli and tartar sauces and things that we are so used to, and things that are pretty simple stuff. And you could even dip your shrimps in them.
That is homemade shrimp cocktail sauce. So I want to, for all of those of you that are using Worcestershire sauce, it's not phase 1 legit. And if you have found a true 000 Worcestershire sauce, please let me know, post your brand. I've never been able to find one, but I have a recipe where you can mimic the ingredients of Worcestershire. So this is a little bit of sugar-free ketchup. It is sugar-free horseradish. It is Bragg's soy aminos and a little bit of lemon juice and a little bit of hot sauce. And you make a great seafood or shrimp cocktail. Well, seafood dip. It's multi-purpose, so that you can use this sauce in a multitude of places. Awesome, Jennifer, dressing and sauce. So yeah, I've got some, you know what, the really cool thing is too, once you have the ingredients on hand to do things like homemade tartar sauce and shrimp cocktail sauce and other salad dressings, you'll be so comfortable doing it that you won't need to look at the recipe. You'll just be like, yeah, boom, I know I can have this, and away you go. Things like Dijon mustards, and you know, there's so many varieties of those types of things that, you know, you can keep in your pantry and in your fridge that make food creating really, really simple. And something like that pictured here, a shrimp cocktail, you can make it as elaborate or as simple as you want. So you could build a beautiful salad or add some crunchy jicama sticks. You can use great big beautiful prawns and do a little bit of salted lemon water to bring them to a fast boil on them. Or you can, you know, if you're super pressed for time, I mean, you can buy cooked shrimp ready to go and have a really fast, easy meal. So I'm not ever going to pick on anybody who chooses a faster way, as long as it's a whole food. So yeah.
Right. Well, I'm not going to be down in Palm Desert to spend time with my mom and her best friend Stella. Unfortunately, I was supposed to get down there, but we've got some other things going on. But we go to this big brunch at this golf club, and they do. You know what? You're totally able to eat phase 1, and shrimps are on there now. Of course, you know, you're not eating the cocktail sauce there, but you know, they have a turkey, they've got ham, that fresh ham, and crab legs and shrimp, and it's amazing. So, you know, don't sit home and cry. It's just Mom's Day. It's just one day, you guys.
Carving stations are amazing. Maybe once I have all my boys home, maybe we'll do a carving station show too, because then they'll eat it all during the week.
Yeah, well, it sounds like they eat it before you get it done, practically.
You know that that's a true, actual problem in my world. Yeah, it really is. Yeah.
Okay, what do we got here?
Oh, you know, this was one of my so guys, this is an old revival. This is one of the very first things that I made with our mac and cheese from Ideal Protein. And I have to tell you, I'm not a traditional KD fan. I was not a fan before I knew there was 40 teaspoons of sugar in a box of KD. So I'm just going to say that one more time to all you mamas who are serving that up to your kiddos. 40 teaspoons of sugar in one box of KD. Okay, there's my lecture.
Okay, what's KD? We have Kraft mac and cheese.
Kraft dinner.
Yeah. Oh, is that what it is? Oh, okay.
Yeah, Kraft dinner, the box of Kraft dinner.
Yeah. A little disconnect between Canada and the US. I'm like, what's KD? Okay, Kraft dinner. Yeah. You know, it's interesting, G. I was having a conversation about this with a new client today. And I was saying, I know that, you know, one of her go-to snacks was mac and cheese. And we were discussing why, you know, that's not going to happen in the future. And, you know, I said, I know what you looked at. You looked at the 140 calories and didn't think it was a big deal. That's where we get caught, isn't it?
Yeah, well, and then looking at actually how many serving sizes are in that box, right? So that trips up a lot of people, and fair enough. You know, it's really important, you know, as whether you're a coach or a clinic owner or a client, you really have to start, you know, learning the language, doing the homework, getting really comfortable with that, getting clients really comfortable with learning how, you know, to read and use food labels and serving size. And it's a great thing to practice right at phase 1, so that when they finish when they get to phase 4, the panic isn't on because they're not too sure what a serving is of something. So it's really good language to talk about. So I do know that if like in a recipe like this, if you were a KD lover, we've had a lot of feedback that they don't really like the mac and cheese because it is more of a sharp cheese on there, and that is great. But let me tell you, it makes a fantastic pickle salad. So this is a cheesy pickle pasta salad. Really super simple ingredients: celery, pickles, fresh dill, salt and pepper, pickle juice. I also use all the fabulous seasonings and garlic from the pickle jar. I chop that up and throw a little bit of that in there as well. You can use a touch of amazing mayo or other creamy dressings if you like, just as a little bit of a emulsion base, but you don't have to because you're using your cheese powder to make your sauce. So you're going to mix your cheese with pickle juice and a little bit of seasoning, and it makes a fantastic sauce. So that is great as a dish on its own. At lunchtime with a few extra veggies, or well, it's good anytime. And yeah, it's one that it's one that I make for myself quite often, because I really love dill pickles, garlic dills, and pickle juice has electrolytes in it. It can help curb hunger, cravings. It can help curb cravings, and the salt and the electrolytes in that really help do that too. So I'm a pickle fan. So if you have mac and cheese kicking around and you're not too sure what to do with it because you didn't like it on your own, these are great types of recipes to try. And you know, we have some great cheesy ratatouilles and faux scalloped potatoes, and you can put those noodles in chicken broth, and you can put your cheese sauce in your celery and have some cheesy celery boats. There's lots of things you can do with it. So if you haven't given it a
If you are not a member yet of the D's Recipes Facebook group, get over there and click the D's Recipes button. One of the things that we're doing, and this is like, we actually need a librarian to help us. So if you are interested, if you love to do Facebook, Instagram, you are interested in helping us we need a volunteer intern to help us with some of this stuff. Dee and I only have so much time, but we really need some help with organizing some of these recipes. And so our Dee's Facebook group, we have some units that go to the unit tab, and we're just starting to kind of organize things. So be patient. But we will be organizing tabs under not only the type of vegetable or the type of IP product, so that, say that you have, this was what sparked my thought process the other day, is one of my clients actually posted on Dee's Recipes, I've got a ton of tomato soup, what can I do with it? And so being able to go, I have a ton of tomato soup, what do I do with it? And then you click on the tomato soup tab and you'll see the recipes in there. So that's a work in progress. And if somebody wants to help us with that, please reach out to me. I would love you. All right. So Deb says, Dee, I purchased a mini duo. So that's the Instant Pot. How about a cooking show with Instant Pots? Yeah, Dee. I've been after Dee for a while to get an Instant Pot. She hasn't quite got there yet. Okay, so everybody knows I save the best for last. And we are running through our 30 minutes, obviously, again. But this looks amazing to me. So Dee, talk to us about this fabulous Mother's Day brunch dessert.
So I am a big, first of all, did anybody's mama ever make poke cake? Maybe as a kid, maybe you had Jell-O poke cake. Maybe you had nope. Okay. So
oh, wait. Is that the cake where you poke the holes in and you pour the Jell-O over it?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yes, we did make that. Yeah. Okay.
My mom made that. She would make a marble cake and do the cherry or strawberry Jell-O or whatever it was in it. And I, as a kid, I don't like cake. I like the icing on the cake. I'll be really honest with you. I'm one of those people in the room when everybody else is like, oh, the icing's so disgusting. It's so sweet. There's me, but cake.
You know what? I knew we were kindred spirits already, but yes. I just need the icing. My favorite all-time cake used to be the double chocolate cake at Costco, and then I would just slice that thick icing off of it. And we should not be talking about that right now, but go ahead.
But I'm a realist. I didn't care for Jell-O, and one of the reasons why is because when I was a kid, for whatever reason, I think it's probably because I ate a lot of dirt, but I would get a lot of tummy bugs. And when I caught a tummy bug, I could be sick for days. And so, of course, my mama did as we're talking about mamas, my mama did the traditional, your soup crackers and your ginger ale and red Jell-O. And looking back, you think about what we know now about food dyes and things like that. So anyway, we eat that Jell-O, and you know what would happen to that Jell-O. So I've always had a problem with Jell-O because, Jell-O up the other way is not fantastic. And so, however, then my mom would make this marble cake and then pour the Jell-O over top of it, and it would set in that cake. Then I liked that cake, and my whole family liked that cake. The 6 of us would eat that entire pan in a flash. And so when I was doing recipe creating with IP years and years ago, I did that same kind of marble Jell-O poke cake. And then I did a banana poke cake back when we had banana pudding, and lemon poke cake back when we had lemon pudding, and so on and so forth. But of course, I'm a huge fan of rhubarb. Renee is a huge fan of rhubarb. You guys all know that because we tend to use it. And rhubarb puree has become one of my staples in my freezer. So I puree it with a little bit of sweetener and I freeze it and I have it on hand. And rhubarb puree as the icing or the topping on my poke cake is it's amazing. So you can put a little rhubarb puree right in your batter to make your cake nice and moist. And then you can add a touch of sweetener to the rhubarb on top, and it spreads beautifully, and it settles once you poke your cake, it settles nicely into the cake and then sets up. And so my the decoration on top are edible flowers. And I have to give a shout out to my sister would grow these on her farm in her garden all the time. And they're part of the straw flowers are part of the edible flower family. And so really it's just for decoration. They're really dry. You could eat them if you wanted to, but it's just really, yeah, it's just food safe decoration, but look really, really pretty on a plate. And the base of this week's poke cake is actually a chocolate drink mix and an oatmeal. So lots of flavor, lots of texture, and rhubarb is good on anything IP pack wise. So they're a good pairing. So
well, yeah. I have rhubarb in my Instant Pot, and when we get off of this broadcast, I'm going to make myself, my favorite thing is dark. I love hot chocolate, so I make my hot chocolate drink with the warm rhubarb in it. Amazing. That'll be my dinner tonight. Okay, so Dee, first of all, happy Mother's Day to you.
Thank you. Happy Mother's Day to you.
It will be, I guess it's going to be interesting for you, but it's going to be pretty traditional for me. But for all of you moms out there, we just want to say thank you for watching. If you are struggling, wondering what you're going to have because you're usually drinking mimosas and, eating over the top stuff and, having your family's favorite dishes or going to your favorite restaurant, remember that there's always choices. You can still go to your favorite restaurant. You're just going to look ahead and you're going to select off of the menu things that are appropriate for you at this point in your journey. And this isn't about stopping and starting. It's not about, oh gosh, I'm just going to go for it this weekend, then I'll start again on Monday, because we're not stopping and starting our lives. We're just traveling down the same road and making decisions that suit us for the moment. And if you find that you want to make a conscious decision to mindfully have a bite of something, that's your choice, and not feeling guilty about that, and just making that part of your journey, part of your path. And that's something that's been coming up a lot as I've been working with clients this week. So I just really wanted to share with you that we're all on a life journey, and it's about learning, it's about changing, it's about lifestyle, it's about creating that healthy balance, and we can all do it. We don't have to be all in, all out. We can just be going down the path of life and making conscious choices. And if you are consciously choosing to make some really good health choices, enjoy that, and know that whatever you might usually have will be there next Mother's Day. So I encourage you to enjoy the experience. And on that note, Dee, give us your words of advice.
Well, I had read the Beck Diet Solution, and I know sometimes we talk about reading material, and I have gone back and I am redoing some of the theories in that book, and part of that is why it's okay to be a little bit hungry. It's okay to plan. So say you're out somewhere and And, we talk about all the time about being prepared. It's actually quite easy to find a place where your whole entire family, no matter how big or small, can go have a meal. You can call ahead. Most menus are on websites. Just like today's show, brunches are amazing. There is whole protein carving stations and plain salads and fancy salads. And one thing that I'm going to start referring to a lot, it's going to sound like a little bit of a broken record, but your phase 1 protocol sheet, if you actually look at all the foods in your grocery store, that phase 1 sheet has most of them on there. There's really not too many things that you're actually missing out on while you're doing this. And so I'm always going to guide you back to enjoy those really wholesome foods. And if you had an extra slice of turkey or an extra slice of steak maybe on Mother's Day, I would say that that's a fantastic choice. Versus overindulging on something that might make you feel really terrible later, or cause some inflammation and then have buyer's remorse later. But it's up to you, up to you and your choices, but celebrate the day. And, to everybody who, whether you're a mom or you're not a mom, if you have a mom, if you have a grandmother, if you just have a lady in your life who is just a fabulous influence, make it a day about celebrating that, and not so much about the food. Maybe you just have a normal eating day and just go do a different activity other than food if it's a trigger point for you. Of course, we love talking about food and giving you ideas, but if those kind of situations are really tough and stressful for you, don't engage, because we do talk about that a lot of times too, but make a plan and get everybody on board. And if there's something there that you can't have, you don't say I can't have it, you say I don't eat that right now. And we keep seeing that.
Yeah, or I'm just choosing that's not my choice, my current choice. Yeah.
And you know what, people don't have to know that you're on a diet. You can use language like, I'm just choosing to try to eat a little bit healthier right now, and what that means to me is I'm going to drink less alcohol, or I'm going to cut down on my sugar. You don't ever have to announce to anybody that you're on a diet, and just choose your language different. So we're going to keep talking about those kind of things too. And I hope it's a wonderful, blessed day for everybody. And half of my family is not going to be home for Mother's Day, so it's going to be really low key here. And I actually have one kid that's actually really super sick. So our weekend plans, we were supposed to be heading to a volleyball nationals in Edmonton, and she is too sick to go. So I have a very devastated child here. So
it happens. Well, I want to say thank you. Happy Mother's Day to everybody. And hi, Mom. Happy Mother's Day to you. And go Sharks tonight.
Oh, man.
Sorry, Dee. I had to do that.
That's all right. That's all right. All my Canadian teams. So it's all good.
All right, you guys. See you soon. See you next week for something fun.